Walk around the compound, see some tigers, see some Pete's, and hear some squeaks. Derek Ramble. What? What? Where are you going? What are you doing? Wally? 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 What? Are you searching for your gel? Are you looking for your gel? Where did it go? See, if I tap on the shadow, it gets more lidded up. There we go. That's how it's made. Wally. I don't want to just be sitting there watching you pee. Oh, I was hoping that she'd come over. What are you doing? You're looking over there like, alright. I can't be just focused on this the entire time. Waiting for you to make a move, sir. It's not how that's gonna work. I'm just looking at Miss Noe over there. Just gonna go and hang out with her. Yeah, my girlfriend. She's over here. Alright. Gotta leave you alone when you're around Bay. So, yeah, we got that going on. Hi, Becky. How are you? Good. Hi. Good. Where's Selena? Where is Selena? It is warm. It's warm. It's kind of late morning time right now. This is like the time where, it's transitioning from relatively cool and comfortable in the morning to, let's get into the shade and hunker down. Let's get into the shade and hunker down. The cats become a lot more, active in the early morning and the evening time and at night when it gets summertime hot like this. So yeah. Look. Oh, we've got our old man Ace. Old man Yeppard just turned 20 years old. Ace. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Or are you paying attention? Are you aware? Ace! I don't know if you can even hear me. I don't know if you can even hear me. That's not so bad, though. Because that means that, like, if you can't hear me, then you can't get annoyed by me and you can't get upset that I'm around. So, that's not bad. 20 years old. 20 years old. Yeah. That's great. I mean, generally speaking, in captivity, if you can get the cats to 16, 17, that's like a fairly decent benchmark. In the wild, they're only going to live, on average, 10 to 12 years. I mean, that just has to do with the fact that they accumulate injury just from, a wild lifestyle of going out and hunting. The more susceptible to diseases, the more susceptible to compromised and weakened immune systems as they get older because of their injuries. So they only last so long. Now, don't get me wrong, I've heard of lions and tigers living into their late teens out in the wild. Yes. Exceptions, definitely not the rule. And yeah. So he made it to 20. That's good. But we've had cats here, I mean, oh my god. Look at you. Look at you! Oh, you're cute. You're cute. You're pretty adorable. We've had cats here, and there was actually some people that were talking on Twitter, and they were tagging me, and they were tagging the Care Rescue Texas Twitter account, which follow BigCatDerek and or Care Rescue Texas on the Twitter. And they're saying like, oh my gosh, you know, like what other, is he the oldest cat? And it's like, no, we've actually had older. Casey she lived to be 21. There was another cat named Tabby. She was 22. I think Jake Sr. no, he was only like 17 or 16. Never mind. And when I say Jake Sr., that's not this Jake's dad. It's just that's his name. It was Jake Sr. Heidi decided to name this baby Jake when he came around to honor the other Jake that had lived. This guy right here. So, technically Jake Jr. There's a Jake Sr. Not related. They are not related. Yeah. Now you know a little bit about it. Yeah, Jake Sr. He was a rescue. If memory serves me correctly, and here's the thing, and I wasn't certainly not part of his rescue because he actually passed away about in June or July of 2006, and I started volunteering at Care in October of 2006. And he had been a fixture at the facility long before Care was even became a nonprofit. Hi, Peaser. Hey, Peaser Pants. So yeah, Jake Sr. was a fixture of Care long before. And he actually is the cat that's on Care's official emblem. Oh, hold on, really quick. Hello, all you big cat lovers out there. It's me, Derek, again. Welcome to another super duper fantastic walk around the compound webcast. Let me just get that out of the way. Jake Sr., he's the cat that's actually, when you go to carerescuetexas.com, when you go and when you see any of our official letterheads, our emblem with the green laurel olive thingy. Oh my gosh. Beezer. That's actually Jake Sr. in that picture. Actually, when you look at any of my emblems, just if we're talking about emblems, if you're looking at any of the BigCatDerek, which I probably got to change those, the one where I'm just kind of doing the dumb face and there's a cat licking my head, that is Peaser. That is Peaser that's doing that. So, yas. But Jake Sr. came from some pretty dire circumstances. And I hope I'm not screwing this up. But I believe that it was a situation where a house of ill repute, of not that's usually like a prostitution kind of thing. I think it was more of a drug situation, where the authorities had raided a house that I think that there was drugs and stuff like that, and then they found this little tiger cub, and he was just all sorts of messed up, just barbarically declawed, had guts all twisted up because wasn't being fed regularly and properly, just on death's door, probably under most circumstances. And Heidi she's been around a lot of cubs, and they can be just, they're fragile. They're fragile animals. And cubs can perish. And you see that, with Jelani, there's no guarantee that they're going to make it to adulthood. So, of course, she gets Jake thinking, well, there's no way. There's no way that this little guy is gonna make it. But I'm gonna try. And lo and behold, he did. Lo and behold, he did. He made it. He lived to be 16, something like that. Yeah. So he became the representation of Care and what it meant, love conquers all, and love can, and also the indomitable spirit, and how he became this symbol of hope. and second chances. It's like just a really great, you know, symbolic kind of thing. Yeah. We even got on this because we were talking about like cats that have like lived older lives. Because Mr. Ace, Bobby, Miss Bob. Hi, how are you? Hi. Hi, baby. Hi, sugar pie. Hi. You're such a sweetheart. You're a sweet girl. Yeah, I gotta go in there and hang out with you here. I'm gonna go in there and hang. And I'll, you know, because like we can go in and with the bobcats, it's, you know, we're not gonna, like they can bite really hard, but I'm not gonna lose a hand or anything like that with them. So yeah, we can go in and, you know, play little mousy catch games and stuff like that with them. It's all good. So I gotta go in there and hang out with her. Yeah. But KC was a tiger that lived past, I think she was 21. Hi, look at you. Hi, bud. Ooh. Ooh. One of my favorites. One of my favorites ever, all-time favorites. Don't tell the others, they will get so jealous. Hi, bud. Yeah. I don't know, something about the old ones. I just love them. They just, I don't know, they get different. I don't know if it's a mellowness or a chill kind of thing. And of course, you know, everyone that loses their minds over the cubs. You know, Cubs. Oh my gosh, I love the Cubs. I love Cubs. And Cubs on social media, that translates to a lot of likes. A lot of likes, a lot of views. Moos also translate to a lot of likes and a lot of views. They do. They certainly do. Capture. Oh, that's perfect. Very nice. Oh, he's just hamming it up. Boop the snoot. But, you know, people love cubs. They love them. They love cubs. They think cubs are just great. Oh, we love them. And they're adorable and they're sweet and they're cute. But, I mean, therein lies the issue, and that's where you get a lot of unethical entrepreneurs. And this is where, like, I think it gets, like, kind of convoluted, because there are a lot of unethical entrepreneurs out there who they have, you know, their pay-to-pet kind of schemes, and they have all sorts of different types of things. And it's one thing where it goes from, okay, this is like sustainable business model, to now we're just very, very irresponsibly breeding, and we have to keep this constant flow of cubs coming into our organization. Well, where do they go when you can't use them for people, for public viewing and public petting and stuff like that? Where do they go? What do you do with them when you have to have a constant supply? Like, what happens to them when they get older? And some places they take it to a very big extreme. And then there's the other flip side of the argument, that a lot of these that some new research and new data is suggesting that the breeding of a lot of these animals is possibly going to maintain their bloodlines. And this is despite what a lot of the stuff that's talked about by, you know, organizations like the American Zoological Organization, where they have, like, those types of organizations. They say, like, okay, well, we only will allow, you know, like, we can only say that it's okay breeding if if they're doing it under like specific SSPs, like it's called species survival plans, and that means that there's pedigrees and there are certain things that are tracked, and we know that these animals are they come from, we can track their genetic lineage back to the wild, and I get that conceptually, you know, I do, but there's some new data that is suggesting that it's a little bit more complicated than that. Well, it's like some parts are more simple than what people had previously thought, and then other parts are a little bit more complex than what people previously thought. That I guess maybe think of it like this, where let's say that like an alien civilization came down, and through their efforts of trying to take resources on planet Earth, that human beings started to die off a lot. Like a lot of humans started to die off, and then the alien hippies started to say like, we need to like enact better laws to like protect the environment, like the human environment and everything, and like, okay, well, we'll only allow certain breeding to take place of humans in order to preserve their genetic structures, but we're only going to allow like Irish people to breed with other Irish people, and then we're only going to allow Somalian humans to breed with other Somalians, and we're only going to allow Japanese humans to breed with other, because we want to preserve the subspecies. That's kind of what the concept is with tigers, that some people like the Exotic Genome Repository are kind of figuring out, that there's maybe a little bit too much sanctity that is applied to the subgroups of tigers, as far as breeding ideology is concerned. So yeah, I mean, that's like a strange kind of thing to kind of look into. It's a strange thing to kind of think about. Oh man, I gotta go all the way around. I don't think that there's gonna be any cats, so it's gonna be grassing around the compound. Brace yourselves, grass around the compound. Oh, by the way, Pokemon Go, I'm Team Instinct, which I guess is the Hufflepuff of Pokemon teams. We're very much so into how our feelings. We take good care of our Pokemon. We like to foster their best abilities, and also we're very much so into that stuff. There's other people like, discipline and passion, Team Valor, and then there's Team Mystic. It's like, we're going to intellectualize the Pokemon. Yes. No, Team Instinct it's about that. It's about heart, and it's about guts, and it's about your instinct. And I'm sure people are just like, there's of course some people. There's going to be four different groups of people. There's going to be, of course, the people who are Valor or Mystic, and they're going to be like, "Bleh." There's going to be the people on Instinct who are just like, oh, he's talking about us, and I feel so fun, and we're team. They're finally talking about them. And then there's going to be like, I hate Pokemon. this craze needs to stop. I understand. It's not. There's another old fella, 16 years. Yeah, this guy just turned 16, Monsieur Champers. Yeah. Did he turn 16 or 17? Oh my gosh, I'm just getting all over the place. So yeah, the whole breeding of big cats in captivity, it's a little bit more, I think, complicated. And there's some people that want to demonize, and they want to sit there and say like, you're either this or you're this. And I think the truth is a little bit more somewhere in here. Like the right answer is a little bit more in the middle. And one thing I will say though is that a lot of the arguments and a lot of the conversations I think that we're having right now are probably, we're not gonna even, it's gonna seem almost embarrassing that we're having them. Like, I think really, if you fast forward like 10 or 20 years, I think a lot of this stuff is going to just be obsolete. I don't think it's going to be stuff that we're really going to necessarily be, I don't know, talking about as much, because I think that there's going to be new technological advances that are going to be bringing other possibilities and potentials into the forefront. I really do think that. And it's not, look, the numbers may still dwindle. Like, we may actually still, we may actually have like a full-on global extinction level, like, rate of wild lions and wild tigers. But we probably will, at that point, have enough genetic material saved to where we get things, you know, a little bit better off as far as wild places in the world and our natural, our whole relationship with those natural places. And we're probably going to be able to start ostensibly 3D printing biologic organisms based on base level genetic material. I was seeing a really interesting, there's some really exciting developments that are potentially around the corner, and I was seeing, it was an interview on YouTube, a recent one by a guy named Ray Kurzweil. He's a futurist. I'm sure that there's some people who are familiar with Ray Kurzweil. He talks about things called like the technological singularity, about Moore's law, about the something called the law of accelerating returns, where the price performance for computational technology doubles every couple of years, or like every 18 months. So what that means is that the rate of our computational capacity doubles every couple of years. And that's what that is that's an exponential growth. That's an exponential rate of change, to the point where change is so rapid that it's almost unrecognizable. It's almost indistinguishable. And he was talking about that same rate because, you know, we talk about things like energy, and when you talk about things like you know, the wild world around us, some of the biggest things that are impacting that are you know, our humanity's ability to access energy, our ability to access like water, and our ability to access food. And I think energy is probably the most important, the most important. If everyone can have access to just abundant forms of clean energy, then I really think a lot of problems are going to just get solved. We're gonna stabilize a lot, because we're going to be able to then reverse a lot of the effects of climate change. We're going to like a lot of economic growth is going to happen when people have more. When there's more economic growth, people just they can feed their families. They're less desperate. There's generally less violence. There's a lot of cascading effects. People tend to leave the natural world around them alone. There's not going to be a need for a lot of like strip mining and stuff like that, and all that fracking and all of the different little things that kind of go into. You can alter your viewpoint towards other ways to help. I mean, it's a lot of different things. So they were talking about solar technology, and people, they think about solar technology and they think like, oh well, that's technology that is it's not efficient. It doesn't do any good. It's, again, the hippies talking about solar, and for a long time that was, you know, that's kind of true. But here's the thing: you have to also talk about the exponential rate of change of information-based technologies. They're starting to apply things like nanotechnology, like smaller and smaller machinery, pieces of machinery that can make solar technology much more efficient. And they were talking about how solar technology, the solar power capacity is also doubling at a rate of about every 18 months or 2 years. Right now, that means that, and the current rate is, I think, like solar technology accounts for about 1% of all of the Earth's, or the total global energy consumption. And it's like, well, that's not that much. But when you're talking about the doubling, again, doubling, exponential, that's 7. That is 7 doublings away from being able to provide 100%. 7. So you're talking about a span of potentially 14 to 15 years. That's what exponential means. That the rate of change, it telescopes, it becomes faster and faster with each successive generation. Computers, man, they do some pretty amazing things. I mean, all of the energy that we, like most of the energy that that we get now, as far as our fossil fuels are concerned, that's just processed. That's solar. That is solar power. Just so you know, coal is the product of just trees that have been compressed and turned into just their carbon state over the course of millions of years. So, what are trees? They're carbon catching devices that are powered by the sun. Oil is the product of biologic material, mostly from marshes and swampland. Like marshy, swampy reeds and grasses that fall to the swamp floor and become sludge, and then over time get coated with other geologic sediment, and they sit and they bubble and cook for millions of years, and it turns into oil. Again, plant material that turns into these fossil fuels. It's processed sunshine. We are currently awash, our planet, with about 10,000 times more energy than what we would ever currently need. But 10,000 times. If we were able to, it's not like people say, like, oh, the planet's overpopulated, or all that stuff, and if a bunch of people just died, we'd be okay. No, if we just cleaned up, and if we just got more serious about developing these technologies so that we're more efficient, we'll be fine. And I think that once humanity is able to break away and not utilize so much natural resources, a lot of the world, a lot of the wild places of the world will be able to kind of be reclaimed. I really do. I think that. That's why I think that a lot of times more technological development is needed, not less. Guys like Elon Musk are pretty awesome, in my opinion. They're trying to develop solar technology and battery technology and space technology and driverless car technology, and yeah, it's pretty fantastic. Paradigm shifting stuff. So that yeah, no, it's like once you increase the level of prosperity of people, you're gonna have more people. Let's say that they do that, and then all of a sudden people start experiencing just a better quality of life, and then they start moving out of the country, because all of a sudden, like now, let's say that we're decentralizing like our production of food. Like vertical agriculture is something that's probably going to be developed and put into much wider use within the next couple of decades, in the next 10 to 15 years. I've already seen instances of that being that taking place. There's some places over in Japan where they are taking they're growing like cabbages and lettuce in like these old repurposed factories, these old repurposed warehouses, and they're doing basically what is tantamount to multiple acres of developed farmland, and they're putting it into a space about as big as the enclosure over there, the 100 foot by 100 foot. So that's a fantastic concept, and they're able to feed a ton of people, and it's all like in like sterile conditions, and they're not having to put a lot of pesticides on it, because you're talking about like they're able to control like whether or not there's actual bugs and stuff. So I mean, like there's so many different ways that our technology is kind of coalescing and coming together to make us as a species a lot better, allowing us to live in a greater sense of symbiosis with the planet. The fact that it's just getting us there, and that it's all promising stuff, but it requires work, and it requires us to be aware of this stuff so that we can kind of make it to the next level, and we don't have to spend a lot of subsequent decades, you know, doing just a ridiculous amount, because there's going to be a lot of things that are going to need to get kind of cleaned up and fixed. I mean, you're talking about just gigantic patches of plastic and garbage that are floating around in the ocean. It's not, yeah, it's not all sunshine and roses. But it's like, you know, you think about like the places that like lions and tigers come from. You know, you think about like the fact that a lot of it's like they're poor people. You're talking about retaliatory farming, you're talking about retaliatory killing, because maybe like a lion or a tiger killed maybe a livestock animal, and then that's their livelihood. They have to go and kill it because they're poor people. Then you're also talking about a lot of lions are losing their numbers out in the wild, because there's a lot of like poor people in rural situations who are going out and they're eating a lot of bush meat, which means that they're taking away a lot of the lion's natural, you know, hunting food, and these are a lot of different issues. Again, if we increase the energy production of a lot of these places, then there's going to be, again, a lot of I think a lot of this stuff will be able to kind of right itself slowly but surely. So I'm all for it. I'm all for that. Man, this webcast, I wasn't anticipating this webcast to get all over the place like this, but that's okay. It did. It did. That's fine. I wouldn't mind. My bud. 3D printing. 3D printing is going to be a big thing, and it's, you know, a lot of people. Sometimes people will hear, you know, they hear me talk about some of this stuff, because I like to talk about future things and future technology, and then some people, they hear me talk about this stuff, and then they say, like, oh, it's not true, it's dumb, or what about this, or explain, you know, or because like you know, 3D printing is like a good example of that, because it's in like rudimentary beta phases right now. And it's wildly expensive, and it's not available for average folks. But think about the device that I'm holding in my hands right now, and I can't show it to you because it's recording this whole sequence. This is a powerful computer that I hold in my pocket. Just, you know, like 30, 40 years ago, like, computers used to inhabit entire large rooms of large buildings, and they used to be able to perform very simple rudimentary tasks. They weren't able to perform complex image and information transmission operations like this device is able to do. And like these devices are available to people all over the planet. They're all over the place. They're wildly more amazing than anything we could have ever imagined 20, 30, 40 years ago. 3D printing is going to be a lot like that. Yeah, it's used to basically make souvenirs at like theme parks right now, and it just like carves like big blocks of plastic. But that is eventually going to turn into very sophisticated machinery that's going to be able to build things close to the molecular level. That's like George Jetson type stuff. And that's going to be something that's going to be happening, again, probably within the next 20 years. And which is going to drive the cost of manufacturing down. It's going to make things a lot more cheaper for people. It's going to change a lot of things. It's going to change a lot of things. I mean, you look at like driverless cars. It's going to like affect the transportation industry. Just it's going to forever change the transportation industry. 3D printing is going to forever change the manufacturing industry. But it's also going to, it doesn't necessarily mean that like it's going to change things for the worse. I mean, new technology has always brought about new opportunity. We didn't have car mechanics before cars were invented. Blah, blah, blah. So, we didn't have airline pilots before planes were invented. You know what I'm saying? So we redefine what it means to live. Hi, bud. You're up and out. All right. Well, I'm losing space on my phone. This was a long one, and I got a lot of video that's already filmed and saved up. So I'm actually I got to end this. So I might not even be able to put title cards on this thing because I don't think I can actually produce it in my phone because I don't think I have enough space. So anyway, I'll talk to you folks later. Oh, Pride Strong Week Long is going to still be taking place July 25th through the 31st. Go to the Facebook page at True Pride Strong. Like it so that you can see the survey that we're going to be posting and that you can be part of the volunteer event. You go out, you help animal-related causes and charities in your local community. It's going to be awesome. We're going to track the results. It's going to bring us together at True Pride Strong on Facebook. Anyway, I'll talk to you folks later. All right, bye-bye.